We are now talking to USF Basketball assistant head coach, our friend Tobin Anderson. Tobin, what's up, buddy?
What's up, fellas? How are you?
We're good, man. I mean, obviously, you're sitting pretty. You're an assistant coach for USF. You have a good basketball program over there. I believe that you're going to get another head coaching job more sooner than later. Tell us a little bit about your time in Iona and what worked and what didn't work, and why, obviously, did you choose USF in the offseason?
Yeah, so, it's been a crazy last few months, obviously, and crazy last few years. And so we had the run at FDU. I had, D2 head coach to FDU, and things are rolling along pretty good. Went to Iona. And, to be quite honest, we had a lot of rebuilding to do. And I really felt good about where we were going, what we were doing. We were 12-4 the last 2 months and went to the conference championship. And all of a sudden, I was told I couldn't, I was done there. So it was a harsh end to what I thought was a very promising situation. Like, I don't feel bad about what we did there at all. It was a rebellion. I've been a college coach, right? 6 head jobs, right? Division III, Division II, Division I. My journey's been a little bit crazier than most. So I felt good about the direction we're heading. It didn't happen as quick as FDU, but like FDU is kind of a crazy 1 year, 10-month. That doesn't happen all the time. I mean, it's like a minor miracle. I mean, just to be honest with you, right? So you can't walk in every place and go and win 2 NCAA games and go to the tournament and have all that kind of success. And so it took us a little more time to get it going in Iona. Not as quick as I wanted, not as quick as other people wanted, but I think we had it going. And I actually had a really enjoyable year, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed the team. I enjoyed the guys, the staff. We got off to a really slow start, and then we turned the whole thing around. So I actually really enjoyed the year and had a great time and have nothing but great memories until the very end. The very end was not great, and so and so that happened, and it was a shocking thing for me. And when those things happen in your staff, your family is affected more than anything else. We have to go find someplace else. So I had some options, but I think I found a great option in the University of South Florida. Brian Hodgson, he helped build both the Buffalo program, the Alabama program, has done unbelievable success. People label him as an unbelievable recruiter, the best recruiter in the country. But he's also a hell of a coach. He won 25 games the last couple of years at Arkansas State, won the conference 2 times. And so I think we're in a great spot down here. It's a great place to live. The sun shines. My pool's right outside my door right here. I get up in the morning. I jump in the pool. I swim around for a little bit. I come home at night and get in the pool again. It's not a bad life. My family's still up in New York for a few more weeks. So I'm a bachelor here for a while.
Don't call Joba. Don't call Joba. He might get you into trouble.
The door's always open down here. You want to come
in? 100%. I'm always in.
Yeah, but
Joba's got eligibility.
It's a good place to live, and we're going to get things going down here and make a run and go to the NCAA tournament. I'm lucky to be here, happy to be here, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
So I want to talk about your predecessor, obviously, Rick Pitino at Iona, obviously making big waves at St. John's this year. They were the number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Do you have any connection with him but when you got the Iona job? And what is your thoughts on everything that's gone on with that program with St. John's?
Well, first of all, he's one of the best, if not the best college coach. He's in the top 3 of all time, right? And there's no doubt about it. I mean, you probably have John Wood and Coach K and Rick Pitino as far as just having that kind of success. And so I knew of it. And we knew each other a little bit from the 5-star basketball camp. We'd crossed paths a few times. I got the job. We talked a couple times here and there. But listen, he had a big job to do at St. John's, and he's done an unbelievable job there. And that place was rocking this year. New York City was going great, and I think, quite frankly, it probably hurt us at Iona because I think Iona wanted to do the same thing that St. John's did. And as people will tell you, there's with the money the way it is now with the NIL and now the revenue sharing, it's a different world. The whole thing's changed. It's like you have to have the resources, the financial resources to compete at the highest level. And so he obviously has that at St. John's, but he also is a hell of a coach and does a great job and knows how to motivate young men and get the most out of them. So he's done a great job at St. John's, incredible. And it's fun to watch, to be honest with you, fun to watch. And I'm excited to see they have a great class coming in this year. They should be a top 3 program in the country this year too. So, no, but listen, he was a great coach. Now when he left, there wasn't much left at Iona. I just being honest. I mean, he took a lot of all the players and most of the furniture, a lot of things like that. And so we had to totally rebuild, which is fine. That's part of what it is right now. And so I think as a college coach, you have to adjust. You have to figure out how to win in this climate. And I think I can just say, for being here for 2 months and being around Brian Hodgson, who's at Alabama, the highest level, I've learned a ton about recruiting and succeeding at this level, at the highest level.
So, Tobin, like, you're obviously from Iowa. I'm from Nebraska.
Yep.
So that's part of it. But the one thing that I always try to understand, which I don't, is my son he's at a junior college. And so you've coached at so many different levels. What is the difference between those levels and how you get kids to either a different level, whether it's JUCO? Because I started at D2 and then I went there. But you as a coach seeing it from a different perspective, me seeing it now as a father. Like, I would like to know, because I'm trying to learn every day, and as we all should. But you as a coach seeing it from so many dynamics,
Yep.
How do you see what is the difference?
Listen, what I'll tell you, right? When you cross the lines, it's all the same, right? So we had when I was at Division II, we had a really good players, really good team, and when we made a run at FDU, we brought 3 starters from Division II to Division I, and they were 3 of the best players on the court in the NCAA tournament, right? We signed here at USF, I think, 4 guys who started at the Division II level, and now are transferring to Division I and are doing great. So there's great players. I don't care where you play, JUCO, NAIA, Division II, Division III, Division I. You got to be a really good player at all levels to succeed. I think once you cross those lines, it's all the same. Obviously, you go up the level, more resources, more help, more. We got a strength coach, we got a nutritionist, we got we chartered all of our games. Things. Listen, I was at Division II. We were driving vans to games. Like I'm used to. I'm like a blue. I'm like a.
Hey, I've been there. I get it. Trust me, I know.
Nothing's gonna bother me as far as like, well, this is not what as good as it should be. But like now, you got the resources, so you have to be able to use those to the best of your ability. But I think at the end of the day, it's about getting the right kind of kids who compete, who play hard, who play together, and want to do something special. And that's what you're trying to do. I don't care you're at Division III, II, I, JUCO, wherever it's at. Like, I'll tell you what, JUCO players and JUCO coaches are having a lot of success right now because they're used to kind of like scrambling and finding the right kind of mix and the right kind of formula. And you're seeing a lot of guys. I mean, the head coach at Texas Tech, Grant McCausland, was a JUCO coach, right? Brian Hodgson, my boss, started out at junior college, right? There's a lot of guys in junior college who are doing great things. And then it's kind of, the world's gotten a little bit crazy where it's like you have to put things together in a short period of time. And I think the key is just getting the right kind of kids who at the end of the day, it's still about competing, right? It's still about, I don't care what level, it's about how hard you want to play, how much better you want to get. And so you got to find the right kind of guys who will do that. But I've enjoyed all levels. Like I loved Division II, maybe most of all, because it was just kind of a little more like hardcore blue collar. Like you walk in the gym and sometimes.
Did you feel like you had something to prove because I wasn't at D1?
Yep. A chip on your shoulder, right? And the best guys I've coached always had a chip on their shoulder. I think that's what you want to find, guys who want to prove themselves. And that's why when I went to FDU and the 3 guys I brought with me, they were trying to prove, hey, we can play Division I. We're able to play at this level. And that kind of gave them an edge for that whole year. And I was a Division II coach. I wanted to prove too that I could win at that level. That's kind of what pisses me off about what happened in Iona, because I'm like, we were still doing good things and moving in the right direction. But the reality is sometimes people don't always see it that way, and people above you don't always see it that way. So you have to kind of like, all right, that's the way it is, and you move on. What's been good for me is I've talked to a lot of pro coaches, and they just fired Tom Thibodeau for the Knicks, right? Mm-hmm. Tom Thibodeau just took the team to the Eastern Conference Finals. They just that stuff happens sometimes, and you can't sit around and worry about it or pity me or feel sorry for yourselves. You got to suck it up and go right back at it.
We are talking to USF basketball assistant head coach Tobin Anderson. He's been on our show. He was the head coach of Iona last year, 17-17, a record that was over 500. Like he was saying, being that you're 500, he shouldn't have been let go. But obviously, Iona wanted to go another route. You know what's interesting to me, Tobin? I've never been a coach, and I never tried to recruit players. as a radio guy, I try to recruit people to come on our show. And how do I do that? I show them a different attitude, a different look to sports media. We're not like everybody else. And I want people to know we're not like every other interviewer. We go out there, we try to be different, we try to be funny. Well, we don't try, we just talk crazy. But the same thing when you go into a house and you're trying to recruit somebody. Now, you have Rick Pitino, or you have somebody of that, or Coach K, these big names. Oh, my God. Or Nick Saban. When they go into your home, you're like, oh, my God, it's Nick Saban. He's sitting right in front of me. I watched him win 5 national championships. And then you're like just enamored by who he is. Rick Pitino, he's been over there in the NBA. He's made hundreds of millions of dollars as a head coach, and he's now coaching St. John's. So the first thing that pops in your head when you want to go over there to St. John's is, when am I going to meet Rick Pitino? I don't care about this recruiter. I don't care about this lady coming into my house and telling me about my academic opportunities. I don't give a crap. I care about playing in the NBA and Rick goddamn Pitino. So you're obviously, you're a head coach, you're over there at D1, and you're walking into these kids' houses, okay? And yeah, you have Rick Pitino, you have all these different guys coming in.
Okay, hold on there.
Hold on, yeah.
They don't do that as much as they used to.
Well, hold on.
Why has that changed?
Well, I'll let you answer that question, but I want to know how Tobin, when he's picking somebody that he wants to go to and try to sell to his parents, do you go in there with a suitcase and a suit on and you say, I got to swindle his mom and hope his father's not a big asshole? Or are you going to go in there and you're going to say, listen, I'm going to wear my nice Jordans. I'm going to wear, my Nike sweats, and I'm going to walk right in and say, listen, come to my school because I'm going to let you hang free. I'm going to let those balls hang free. And mom and dad can come and watch you play anytime you want. And you can sleep with this woman and that woman. It doesn't matter. Come to USF. Come to Iona. And you get a chance to experience what it is to be a great basketball player and work with a great head coach. Is that how you do it? Or do you do it different way?
That's why he wasn't a college athlete.
First of all, I would have, and by the way, Tobin, he always stays, I would have been a college athlete if I didn't hurt my knee. Okay, I was a really great hockey player, and I was going to play D1 hockey, and I hurt my knee. So obviously, I'm not Joba Chamberlain who played for the New York Yankees, but maybe I would have been drafted by the Maple Leafs or the Montreal Canadiens, like some of my counterpartners were when I played Team USA hockey. So eat your ass, Joba. Go ahead, Tobin.
First of all, I love Joba. I remember watching Joba with the Yankees, enjoying that whole run he had, which was awesome. But listen, I'm a little bit like you. You got to be unorthodox when you don't have a big name or the Pitino, the Krzyzewski, that behind you. You got to be a little bit different, right? You got to sell your style. Like for us, we always play up tempo, press, play fast, play like an NBA style. That's how Brian plays here too at USF. So you got to sell there he is, Joba right there. You got to sell something different. That's like a chip on your shoulder, trying to prove yourself. Things have changed. Now it's about the money. I mean, the money's the biggest. I mean, that's part of the conversation. We don't go into people's homes as much anymore. And we try to sell playing time. We try to sell style of play. We try to sell relationships, but the relationships are a lot quicker. Like a lot of these guys we may only have them here for 10 months. The guards I had at FDU, they played 150 college games for me. 150, right? That's a lot of college basketball games. Guys we have now, most of them play one season and they move on. So it's a whole different world right now. So I just think those relationships are still important though. You got to be in the gym with them. You got to be part of their lives. You got to spend time with them. I don't talk to the parents as much as I used to. We talk to agents now. You talk to more people around them. It's I don't necessarily love doing that all the time.
The idiots, the agents. Don't you love them?
They're pros now. They're making money. They're professionals. They have to kind of deal with things themselves a little bit too,
How do you sell yourself to an agent? I mean, you're calling them up and saying, hey, I'm Tobin Anderson. Your son or because some of these guys have their fathers as their agent.
Oh, yeah.
Your son or your cousin can come over here. Hey, I'll slip you $100,000 or I'll slip you an autographed jersey by Joba Chamberlain if you're a Joba fan. Just come over here to USF. How do you do it? What do you say to them?
You've been to Tampa, like you should come down here. I tell you what, it's a hell of a. I mean, there are beaches and restaurants and bar scene, and I was downtown this past weekend. I mean, I'm an old man, but I was still downtown for a college.
Were you at Channelside or Riverside?
Oh yeah, Channelside's great. Channelside, Waterside down there, that whole area on the water.
Me, I lived there for 13 years.
Oh, I tell you what, if you're a college age or in that area somewhere, man, it's a great place to live. Great. I mean, there's a great place to go out.
Have you experienced South Tampa?
I've been in quite a few of those places already. I've been down to Ybor City. Right,
Oh.
there's a lot of good spots down there. So it's a great place to live, great place to go to school. They have some money now, and our facilities are top notch. And listen, if we start winning, we'll sell out 15,000 people, be packed in our arena, and it's going to be big. We're playing a hell of a schedule. We're playing great teams, so it's a great situation. And the biggest thing is, hey, you get better, you play in good style, got a chance to go play. You know, a lot of guys go play in the NBA or go play in the G League or go play overseas. So you got to sell that and sell those relationships. And you know, my boss Brian Hodgson, he's put 15 guys in the NBA in the last 5 years. So he's had a lot of success putting guys from Alabama and guys from Buffalo in the NBA. So we're going to try to keep on doing that.
So I wanted to ask about the kind of the modern changes in college sports that we've seen. Obviously, the transfer portal being the biggest one. You saw Florida win a national championship this past year with a third-year head coach and a lot of transfers, and you've seen a lot of these other programs really grow because of it too. And like you were saying, you're seeing a lot more stronger non-conference scheduling than you saw in years past, where they used to schedule them 5 years in advance. So what are your thoughts with those whole changes, and how do you think it's affected coaching from your standpoint as well?
What's going to help the high major level, because a lot of those guys are getting paid money now, and they'll stay in college as opposed to going to the NBA and being a second-round pick or trying to hang around or whatever. They're making more money in college than they would be in the pros right now. So a lot of guys at the highest, the power fours and the schools right in that stratosphere are going to stay in college and make more money. So that's a good thing for those schools, right? The mid majors and low majors are getting killed because their best players are getting eaten up by the high majors, are getting poached by those schools. And so if a guy has a good year playing for a low major, playing for an FDU, playing for Iona, well, somebody's going to come in and offer him $500,000 and they'll go play for a power four. So the power fours are going to be really good. They're playing, like you said, they're playing better schedules. The competition's better, more TV games. So that part's gotten better. Like there's some really good players that are in college next year that in the past would have gone pro. So I think in that respect it's great, but for the rest of it, there's 250 Division I schools who don't belong in that level, right? And they're kind of like a fish out of water. Like what does FDU have in common with Alabama, right? What's Iona have in common with Duke or Ohio State? They don't have their money's not even close to what they have as far as the revenue sharing, the NIL stuff. So it's almost like two different worlds are exist right now, and one's a pretty good world, and one's going a little bit. The separation's getting a little like to see what happened with like St. Peter's making a run and FDU making a run and Florida Atlantic. Not going to see as much of that anymore.
It's like Shane McMahon. Remember that Money song? I don't know. I did watch wrestling at one point. Money, 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 money. That song. That's what he's saying.
But he always had money.
Oh, I know, but I'm just thinking of the song. I'm thinking of the track here.
Tobin, you literally mentioned it too.
Or Ted DiBiase, the money. What do they call him? The $1 Million Man. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they have Ted DiBiase hanging out. I don't know. I know he's dead broke now. He's an old rag. But anyways, go ahead, Joba.
No, I just want to mention before Joba, you asked your question too. You mentioned the FAU team that obviously you guys played, and then they ended up going to the Final Four. Elijah Martin was literally on that team, and now he's with Florida and won a championship.
Johnny Davis went to Arkansas, and then Vlad was at Michigan last year. And three guys who were three of the best players in the country last year who ended up going to the highest level. Their combined salaries last year probably about $3 million.
Tobin, what do you like? Obviously, playing college sports and now having a son in college sports, like, do you think what they're doing right now is beneficial? Like, and we've had this argument a lot about getting paid, this, that, another thing. But do you think it's helping the game, or do you think it's hurting in some type of capacity, or is it creating parity to other teams that yeah, if you're not going to get that, and now with what just happened, obviously we saw the $2.8 billion thing that 20.5 goes to this school and whatever. Do you think that's helped or hurt? Because I love seeing it from, because as a player, I would have loved to got paid and do what I do. Like, I'm sitting in a College World Series and I'm the only person to ever win from Nebraska. And I would have got paid a lot of money. Do you think it's hurt the guys athletically? And that's the question. Do they work harder? Do they work less because they know they're getting paid?
That's a great question, right? Because it's funny. It's like, because a lot of times now, I told two of our players today, I said, like, you guys are pros now. You got to be in shape all the time. There's no excuse for not being in shape. Like, you're getting paid. Like, you're basically like, if you went to try out the Lakers tomorrow, you come in unbelievable shape. You come in mentally ready to go. You'd be rested. You'd be all that kind of stuff. I said, it's the same thing in college now. You got to get yourself in great position to have, if you want to make money, you got to have a great year. And I do think there's a motivation now to have a great year can help you earn more money. And I think it's a great thing, Joba.
So do you see it on both sides? Like, it could be good and bad?
Well, definitely bad. Could be bad too. Could absolutely be bad. And guys get paid. All of a sudden they get lazy. I see it all the time. Guys start spending money on stupid things and they buy things they shouldn't buy. I mean, what's bad is that the NCAA has not done anything as far as educational programs to help kids who are making this kind of money, as far as like financial education. Like, we do it ourselves, and we'll have people come in and talk to our guys and speak about that. There's guys who had no money who are all of a sudden making $500,000 who have no idea how to open a checking account, how to invest it, how to pay taxes. There's a lot of parts of that. NCAA's done nothing as far as like educating those student athletes. I think there's a part of it, like, once you get paid, hey, I've made it. We had guys, making not that much money thinking, hey, I made it. I'm going to go buy a gold chain and go buy a car, and life is good. Well, listen, that money goes, as we all know, it goes by pretty fast.
Boy, does
and
it
it's gone. But I do agree, though, that they should get paid. I think student athletes deserve to get paid. There's so much money being made by all these teams, all these programs, and for a long time, coaches made lots of money. You're building new buildings. You're putting up new things. You're hiring new people. So they definitely deserve to get paid. I just think we need to put things in place to help them understand, like, this might be the most money they'll ever make. You don't make a ton of money overseas, playing professionally overseas. You don't make crazy money. But right now, there are guys in our league making $500,000, or more. That's a lot of money for a kid who's 20 years old and has no idea what to do with it. We have guys on our team in Iona last year who transferred who are making crazy amounts of money. And it's like, I hope they don't, and I talk to them all the time, like, don't waste your money. Don't, make sure you're smart, make sure you invest, make sure you save it. But we need something in place to help them.
We are talking to USF basketball assistant head coach Tobin Anderson. I don't want to keep you on too much longer, but this story has really burst my bubble, okay? You are a recruiter. You're a head coach. And this guy is on the Bill Simmons show, and with this idiot writer, Kosterman. I call him Colostomy Bag, okay, because that's all he is. And he comes out and he tries to compare probably the best American-born player we've seen come out of college basketball in about, let's just say 12 years, okay, and Cooper Flagg. And he had the audacity to come out. As we all know, he's a former writer. He's not a writer anymore for anybody but himself. He should be writing about something else, maybe something he does when he's sitting on a toilet. I don't want to listen to him talk about Cooper Flagg, but he came out and tried to compare Cooper Flagg to Detlef Schrempf. Now, as a recruiter, as a guy that knows a little bit about college basketball, and I'm sure you do, and I know you do because we've had you on this show, and you've coached Division I schools, D2 schools, and you're a great coach. Could you even think of just how stupid a dumb person could be comparing this kid to a guy that was a good player, but nowhere close to the talent as Cooper Flagg? And please tell me what this guy is drinking, because he might be drinking something that has a lot of protein, but you shouldn't be drinking, if you know what I mean.
Cooper Flagg is a generational talent, man. I saw him at the EYBL, the Nike thing, like 2 years ago, and I'm like, man, I thought you were going to say, because I hadn't heard the conversation. I hadn't been following Bill Simmons that much. I thought you were going to see Larry
Run
Bird.
for your life.
I thought you were going to see, he was comparing him to Larry Bird. I'm like, well, that's a comparison. I think Cooper Flagg will be a 10-time All-Star, first team All-NBA guy. He's got all the talent, all that ability. He's also got mentally, he's a tough dude. I mean, he went to Duke this year and he handled all that exposure, all that hype, and he was fantastic. So no, I think he's a generational talent. I think he's fantastic. He's going to be great. Man, I wish the Mavs would have kept Luka. It'd been fun to see that whole thing.
They would have never gotten him. They would have never gotten him. I think the NBA was pretty much handing him over.
The Spurs probably would have gotten him.
Errol, tell him what you think the NBA is.
What do you mean, what do I think the NBA is? The LJA, LeBron James Association. Yeah. It's the LeBron James Association. It's not the NBA. It's the LJA.
Do you like LeBron?
I think he's a generational talent. I think he's the second greatest basketball player of all time, even though he likes to say he's the greatest, and so does his family, and he wants to tell everybody he's retiring when he's not retiring. Why would you retire when you're getting $52.5 million? You'd have to be stupid. LeBron James thinks we're stupid, so we're going to believe it. The fact is the NBA wanted Luka Doncic to go over there to the Lakers because the Lakers need another player to lean on after LeBron James goes away. And we all know that's what the NBA is doing. And because of that, the LJA handed over Cooper Flagg to the Mavericks and said, here you go. We're sorry. We're sorry that you gave up Luka. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to give you even a better player. You goddamn idiots. That's what the NBA is. The LJA. The LeBron James Association, or you could call them the GDI Association. Goddamn Idiot Association. That's even better. But it's the LJA. I mean, we all know LeBron James runs the league.
How many years? What's he played? 22 years? I mean, it's pretty impressive what he's done.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's not human. He's not human.
Yeah.
He's not human.
He spent 20 years, 2 years playing, and then he spent 12 years as the GM, and now 5 years as the commissioner of the league.
It's pretty simple, Tobin. You know what's going on.
It's a little annoying. I will agree with that. It's a little bit too much sometimes.
Just say it. Say it. The LJA, LeBron James Association. That's what it is. It is.
I think I'm going back to the original. Cooper Flagg is a stud. He's going to be a great player. He's going to be.
Hear that fish? Hear that fish? Sink that in. Sink that in for that Mr. Colostomy bag. That idiot. On that stupid show.
Deadlift shrimp, that's a bad comparison.
Oh, my God. What a horrible comparison.
Yeah, that's a terrible comparison.
What
I thought you'd say Larry Bird. I'm like, it's two different guys, but whatever.
He's the white, and I said this. I've watched Cooper Flagg develop as a high school player. We've been trying to get him on the show for a long time. I've been following him since 8th grade. He reminds me of the white Kevin Durant. That's who he reminds me of. His game, what he did, what Kevin Durant played when he was over there in Texas with the Longhorns, and he was a good shooter. He's a little bit better. Well, he's definitely better as a shooter than Cooper Flagg, but his game is all-around game. And remember, Kevin Durant developed his shot even better in the NBA. He wasn't the shooter he is now when he came to the NBA. I think he's the white Kevin Durant.
He had a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio this year. Cooper Flagg can score, but he can also pass the ball. He can 100%. Make plays. He can rebound. He can defend. I mean, he's a beast, man. He's fantastic. No, he'll be great. He'll be great. No, he'll be fun. He'll be fun to watch the NBA too. He's got more space and things like that. He'll be outstanding.
All right, Tobin.
No, so Tobin, before you get
yes, go ahead.
As a coach, when you get a talent like that, and you get somebody in that realm,
you masturbate. That's what I would do.
How do you
play it like that? I'm sorry.
Get him to stay grounded, and especially the game has changed, like we've talked about.
Yep.
How do you get them to stay to understand, like, this is what we want to get to? We don't want to just get to the tournament. We want to win. And how do you do that as a coach? Because I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of cool things, but I never got to the pinnacle in college. And I got close, but I didn't. And as a coach, and I've never coached at that level, where do you where is the balance between, because they are still student athletes,
Yep.
but now they're business people.
Yep.
Like, so where do you find that balance?
Well, I think first of all, if they got to be good people. Like you can tell, Cooper Flagg's got good parents. He's been raised well. He's got good people around him. He's had good coaches. Like just even when you recruit kids, you can tell who's going to stay grounded, who's going to not go out and spend their money and go and do crazy things, and who's going to be like who's going to get better and work. And like at the end of the day, right, the better the team does, the better you do, right? If you can get your team to a Final Four, it's going to help the team. It's also going to help you too. So more exposure, more eyes on you. All that kind of stuff. So I think you try to sell, hey, what's good for the team is also good for you. What's good for you is also good for the team. Hope they have high character. Hope they were raised well by great parents and understand the big picture,
But I think where do you come in?
Yep.
Because they're with you more than they're with their
all the time. Yep. My dad was a high school coach. My dad said, I'll know your kid better than you will because I see him all the time. I see him every day in winning, losing, practice, the whole thing. So like I'm there to kind of kick them in the ass when they need it, right? Also to be encouraging, to be positive. I think the part about being a positive voice in their ear all the time is great, especially with social media and how they get knocked down all the time by all these people. So I think just being around and we watch a lot of film, we watch a lot of NBA stuff. We show them clips, like just being a person who's there for them anytime they need us. I think a lot of times, to keep them grounded when things are going well is harder than when they're not doing well and motivating them to do better. You know what I'm saying? It's like they start having.
You're a parent, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, my son's actually a sophomore in Alabama. My daughter.
Yeah, my son's a sophomore at Hutchinson playing. So does the parent instincts kick in sometimes?
Yes. I'm a better coach now that I've had my kids go through high school sports.
Oh, trust me, that was awful.
Yep.
Well, you got to use the goose. You said it's good for you and good for that. It's good for the goose. It's good for the gander.
It's good for the gander.
I like that. I like that saying. That's a good.
So you as a father, like being coach, and I've never coached at your level. I've coached travel baseball and whatever. Yep. But do you think that helps too? Like when you have that understanding, because it's like, hey, I know you're going through some shit.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
And be like, hey, we're here for you.
Yep.
And all you got to do is just talk to me. Just
think about this.
Because if I don't know, I can't help you.
Yep. Think back to this job with my son when I coached him in travel ball AAU, which was one of the hardest things I ever had to do when he was like in 8th grade, and I was trying to coach his team, and he wouldn't listen to me. The more after a game I was like trying to critique him or try to coach him, that didn't work so much. But what you just said is a great point. Let them talk. Let them, how do you feel? How's things going? What are you thinking? What are your goals? Like, and just being kind of there for them as a resource, as opposed to telling them all the time what to do and how to do it. Right. Because sometimes it's too much. It's just too much. Too much coaching, too much overloading them or whatever. So you got to pick and choose the right spots. And listen, I'm not perfect at it. I was not a perfect parent. I drove my son crazy sometimes. The best thing my son did, he started running cross country. And I go to the meets and he was like, run as fast as you can and turn left. That's all you got to do, man. Get back here as fast as you can. Like that's an easy sport to be a parent.
And we know nothing about it. So thank you.
I will say this, Tobin, and you said Joba asked you, it's like, what do you do when you get a talent like that? And I made a joke and I said, I get off. I'd masturbate, because if I got a player that good, I'm having a ball. I'm enjoying myself and just so happy that I landed somebody that great. This guy was the best player in the world coming out of high school.
Cooper Flagg to South Florida, I'd be doing pretty well here. I might have 3 pools instead of 1.
Errol would gladly love the other swap. He'd love you coaching at Duke.
Just have me recruit him.
I don't know. We got to pick and choose your moments, I think, Errol.
I know Errol will love you coaching at Duke right now.
I'd I'd be a great coach. Are you kidding me? Me out there having and pumping these kids up. I'm one of those crazy guys. I'm not Danny Hurley crazy. I'm not going to attack somebody or threaten people on a basketball court. But I'm going to tell the guys, listen, we're going to go out there. Pretend I'm out there as the sixth man. Pretend I'm just, I'm like an angel on your shoulders. Pretend I'm just like riding your shoulders all the way to the hole. Okay? Remember that hole. Make sure that hole opens and jam it in. That's what I'd say.
At least I'm not in New York. You got a Jets hat on.
That's
At least
right.
I'm not in New York having to listen about how the Jets are going to be good this year. I'm fine with Duke, but
First of
I'm
all,
so sick
in New
York,
now
the
Tobin,
Jets over-unders 4 wins every year.
Tobin. Now you've done it. Now you've lost yourself. Whatever you're doing over there, whatever you're drinking, keep drinking it. Just don't get too drunk. Nobody said the Jets are winning anything this year. All we know is we got to see if they got the right guy in place. I think they do. I think Aaron Glenn's a good coach. I think he's a Jet. The Jets have never hired somebody that was a part of the organization. So we understand what it takes to bring in somebody that could say, I know what it is to lose. I know what it takes to figure out how to win and be a great player. Aaron Glenn was a good player, and he knows how to win, as we've seen with Detroit. And we all know what Bill Parcells said. He's one of the greatest. He knows that Aaron Glenn's going to be special. So I understand what you're saying. The fact that you brought up the New York Jets in this conversation makes me sick, okay? It makes me sick. As a Jet fan and as a.
Yeah, because we usually have to deal with Jets conversation.
Never.
90%.
Never. We haven't spoken. All we bring up when it comes to it is making jokes about Aaron Rodgers. We have not spoken about the Jets
We don't
at
have
all.
to talk about it now.
We have nothing to talk about with the Jets. Why are you bringing them up? Because you're just trying to find a way to stir things up. And if you want to stir me up, it's very simple. I'm not going to sit here and back down from nobody. And as far as the New York Jets are concerned with ownership, by the way, Woody Johnson's trying to buy a soccer team for $200 million. Woody, stay away from the soccer team and worry about your goddamn football team. Stay the hell away from anything you touch because you're going to make me hurl, all right? I don't want to hear about Woody Johnson in the tabloids. I don't want to hear about James Dolan. I don't want to hear about Chris Drury because he sucks for all you Ranger fans. I just sit here and laugh every single time we talk about it. You know why? Because we live in this disgrace. We live in a disgraceful state with disgraceful sports. That's all I'm going to say. Let's cut it at that. And we love you. We love you, my friend. Tobin, we appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Very nice to meet you, man.
All right, man. Good to see you guys. All right. We'll talk soon.
When are you going to
again.
invite us to a basketball game so we can?
You come to Tampa, you come see me.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
You got my number. Come to Tampa, come see me. I'd love to have you.
Let's do it.
Stay at the house.
Let's do it. That sounds like a fun time. We'll hang out with Tobin. Just and Joba, we'll sign a couple autographs and we'll drive Joba.
Go to Chipstead, right, Joba?
I kind of run Tampa, so we can get it done.
All
You
right.
come down, let me know.
Just
All
keep
right, guys.
Tobin. Just keep him away from your pool. I don't know what he does in. Anyways,
All right,
Tobin.
guys. Take care, fellas.
Tobin Anderson, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic, great personality, great head coach. Iona was stupid. Iona's stupid. They're a stupid organization, stupid school. Keep the guy. Let him grow. This isn't the Knicks. I think Tobin, it takes a while to recruit the right guys, to put them around in college basketball and put it in a good situation where they're going to succeed. Tobin didn't get enough time to do that. And unfortunately, he didn't. It fell short for him. But I think Tobin's a great coach. He's a great personality.